Bar Harbor is the largest town on Mount Desert Island, yes, that's pronounced dessert, along Maine's Frenchman's Bay. It serves as a neighboring town to the Acadia National Park. From the town pier, the shore path winds along the bay, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean and the Porcupine Islands. Bar Harbor was known as a part-time residence for the rich and famous. During the golden years, there were residents such as John D. Rockefeller Jr., J.P. Morgan, Cornelius Vanderbilt, the Astor family, and William Howard Taft.
Harbor, Maine. This is our hotel. We're in the back of the hotel, right on the water. There's Roberta looking at, wave to the camera, and I guess she doesn't want to. We're right on the harbor side of the town. It's gorgeous. I mean, the weather's a little overcast today, but otherwise, what we're actually doing now is we're on our way to a whale watching tour, which we are anxiously looking forward to. I'm just panning around. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is the other side of the hotel, on the other side of the harbor. That's the Main Street, actually it's called West Street. These are some tour boats, and these are private boats and yachts. There is a cruise ship. There is some that's really nice boat.
Medium-sized fish.
We're on the whale
is what
watching
those
tour.
seals and those porpoise are going
Well,
after.
out of Bar
Now,
Harbor.
if by chance you haven't had a
That is
chance
the
to
Rock
see the
Island
one
Lighthouse.
porpoise that's come down our right-hand side,
Operating
is that
in
most likely we will
that's
also see some more.
Cadillac
There's another one
Island,
where they're at a
Cadillac
2 o'clock
Mountain,
coming down the
the
right-hand
highest
side, or they're
mountain
3 o'clock or
in
4
the
o'clock
area.
now. They are so shy and elusive that if we are to stop for them, they will just disappear.
These are
And we do usually
lobster
see a good
buoys.
number of them throughout the entire trip. So just So you can see of how they really, such a large animal has to
it's
take
really
a
rough.
big breath of air. He's taking several breaths here as this individual has been down for a good 10 minutes. He's turning here a little bit.
There's a mola sunfish, sea sunfish.
That's it. Their weight. It is something that if they are to swim, they have to bring, instead of laying on their side, they have to
Get out of
be
this
upright.
It's not really coming out of the water that much. That's all I'm saying. But it's a fish.
That's something.
We are totally downwind of this of the blow now, so you're going to smell it.
There he is.
Yes, their breath is not great. It will also warn you, don't lick your lips. All that steam kind of gets onto you. If you do lick your lips, don't be surprised by the bad taste, just with that bad smell as well. And here comes a dive. Beautiful love. Just such amazing
That was
animals.
really cool. Yeah.
Remember the clip I showed you of Bar Island? Well, this is the same area. It's a sandbar being exposed by a reduction in the tide of between 15 and 17 feet. This area was called Eden initially, but they changed the name to Bar Harbor because of the sandbar.
We're about halfway across the sandbar. The thing that is really something is to see how wide it is. It's really, really wide. I'm doing a 360. There's the boats. There are pictures of those. There's our hotel. This is another part. It's called the spa. That's part of our hotel. And coming across.
The next day, we took a trolley trip through Acadia National Park. The park is 47,000 acres and is due mostly to the purchase and the money provided by John D. Rockefeller Jr. The park consists of woodland, rocky beaches, and glacier-scoured granite peaks. Cadillac Mountain is the highest peak on the eastern seaboard all the way down through South America.
This is Thunder Hole. Oh, no thunder today. The water comes in here and then the water goes in. It makes like a thunder noise. It's a high. This is the cave that was formed. Smoke goes up and then when it starts coming out, it's making noise.
Jordan Pond is a small mountain lake created by the glaciers in Arcadia Park. It used to be frequented by the rich and famous. Our last stop at Acadia National Park was the top of Cadillac Mountain. Remember, this is one of the highest mountains in the east coast of North and South America. This is what we saw. Oh no! Well, as they say, all good things must come to an end. Goodbye, beautiful Bal Harbour, and hello, beautiful Portland, Maine. Portland turned out to be a really nice city. It's set on a peninsula extending into Casco Bay. We stayed at the old port waterfront, which is being revitalized and gentrified. It features working fishing wharves and converted warehouses with restaurants and shops. We decided to take a ferry tour of Casco Bay. The ferry left from the Long Wharf at the old port waterfront.
We're in Portland, Maine. This is the old piers area of Portland. It's all been gentrified, or in the process of being gentrified. We're going to be taking a boat cruise around Portland Harbor. That's the boat we'll be taking.
The time of King Charles I.
City or town in Maine. City.
Just in case anyone's wondering which house I have dibs on here in Cape Elizabeth, it's this brown house to your right with the sort of orangey rusty trim. It's built into the side of a cliff. Now that house is held up by 3 steel girders to make sure it doesn't slide away into the water below. But the real reason that I'm interested in this house is because those folks have a plexiglass bottom floor of their wraparound porch. I know, right? You can just imagine drinking your coffee in the morning and watching the water underneath your feet. It'd be pretty relaxing. So I'd love to live there.
Lighthouse in the state of Maine, and the 3rd oldest in the United States. They also say that Portland Head Light is the most photographed lighthouse in the country, if not in the world. It's named Spring Point Ledge Light. And Spring Point Ledge Light was built in 1897. It's an example of a caisson-style lighthouse. Now that means the black base of this lighthouse is built of cast iron. So what they would do was fill that cast iron base with rocks and concrete, sink it into the water, and then build the rest of the lighthouse off the top.
In addition to the 7 lighthouses around the bay, our tour took us to a number of these forts, each one with their own interesting history. We also came across a lobster fisherman who was doing his thing. Very interesting trade in Maine. And finally, what was really cool is we came across a bald eagle sunning himself on a branch. Good times had by all. The first stop on our trolley tour was Fort Allen Park. In addition to a beautiful view of the water, it has some historical monuments such as the radar mast of the USS Portland, some cannons, gazebo, and some other interesting things. We also passed the Portland Observatory, which the tour guide referred to on our boat trip. There was also the Victorian Mansion, which we later visited. And of course, there's the statue of John Ford, the great Hollywood director. He's a favorite son of Portland, Maine, spending quite a bit of time there. We had such a wonderful time, but yeah, it's time to go home. Boy, we hate to drive. Well, maybe we can stop one other place. Okay, we're gonna stop there. We'll walk around town, check out the stores, and maybe we will visit the bushes at the Bush compound.
Again, this is the Bush compound in Kennebunk, Maine. It's called Walker's Point. Herbert Walker Bush. Secret Service vehicles.
It must be the